In today's video, what we are going to be presenting is the installation of the Atlassian CLI on the macOS. That's right, this is the introduction to the beta version of actually using your own CLI to interact with Jira. So let us actually start with it, and first of all, let's go with the installation of it. So I'm going to be doing this for the Mac OS, and if you actually have other operating systems, just like Windows or maybe Linux, you can just go ahead and click on the different link that will lead you to it. And in the description of this video, I will actually leave you the links that you can actually follow along. So first of all, when it comes to Mac, you either having the Intel version of the Mac or you actually having the Apple Silicon. And in my case, I'm actually having the Intel, so I'm going to be using that one. So I'm going to open up my terminal. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm now going to curl this request right here. And I'm going to wait for it to download all of the necessary things. That's the first thing. The second thing is actually to make this binary executable. This is like in Linux when you're doing the installation of Jira Data Center, for example, when there is also a file that has been downloaded that you also need to make a binary in order to actually run it. So you're gonna copy and paste this and everything is okay. Now, and it's saying that we can actually use the CLI for the directory, so we're gonna do that later. Then what you actually need to do is to move the binary to file location in your system path. So just copy and paste the code, basically nothing too much. It's gonna ask you for your sudo password, make sure that you actually know it. Or if you're actually on the Windows, it's gonna ask you for your administrator's password. So make sure you know that as well. All right, so let's run the ACLI help to actually see if we have it installed. And indeed, yes, we do. All right, so what I'm also going to be doing is, since I have signed up for the beta actually in here, I'm going to do the authentication, which is going to be the next thing. And I'm going to be preparing my API key because that is the thing that is going to ask you, and that is going to be your API key. So, all right, so I'm going to create a classic API token. It seems that this is kind of a new terminology because it was named just like the create the API token, and basically that was it. I'm going to put that it's going to be ending today because I'm just making this video representation of it. So let's go with our CLI. So the first command that we actually need to do is do the authentication. When we do the authentication, it's going to say to us what we actually have in here. So it's either login, logout, status, and switch. And before we actually do this, there's some of the stuff where you actually have the list of Jira commands. Okay, so if you go for ACLI and we go for Jira, there are actually two types of commands that you can actually use in here. You can use for project, or you can use for the work item, formerly known as issues. So these are the commands and the operations that you can actually do on these commands. All right, but before that, let's go back and go ACLI authentication. ACLI authentication. Let's go with login. Let's say I'm going to be using my token, and the first thing it's going to ask me is my site name. Make sure that you put in your site name that you have put in the form. So in the form for the early access program, and you hit enter. Then you just type in your email. It's going to ask you for your API. Let's go with the API as well. All right. And now I'm going to copy and paste my API saying that it's authenticating. And as you can see, it did authenticate myself. So if I say ACLI and then I go off and then I go for status, it's saying that basically this is it. And it's saying that I have indeed authenticated with my site. Great. So let's go for ACLI Jira because you're going to be using ACLI for interacting with the Jira itself. So if I go for ACLI Jira project, it's going to give me sort of commands that I can use in here. So it gives me options to archive the project, to delete, to list the projects visible to the user. That's actually interesting. There is also an option to restore a Jira project and then update a Jira project. One thing that I want you to know here in order to not be confused is that, let's make this a bit bigger so it's kind of better to see. So restoring is restoring from the archive. So once you delete the project, there is no way to actually restore it. So that's the idea. That's the point. You cannot restore the deleted projects. Great. All right. So let me say that I want to try archiving one of my projects. So it's going to tell me, as first thing, okay, it's ACLI Jira project archive. So it's saying you gotta follow this part that says the key has not been sent. So if you actually don't know about this, then you ask for help. And it's saying these are the examples and saying ACLI Jira project archive, then 2 dashes key and your team. So it is archiving your projects based on your project team. Get key. So for example, I'm not going to be needing this one that it's saying, can you see me? So it's going to be ACLI Jira project archive, and then it's going to be key. And the key this is going to be CYSM. CYSM. All right. Project has been successfully archived. And as you can see, if we actually go here, and if we refresh this, indeed, the project is actually gone from here. And I believe that it has been archived. Okay. What are the other things that we can actually do? I'm really interested in this. What is actually the list of projects visible to the user? So ACLI Jira project, and it's going to say a list. All right. And it's saying at least one of the flags in the group recent limit paginate is required. So add GLI project list, and I'm going to ask for help. And it's giving me the examples in here. So first of all, list up to 20 projects that I have been recently viewed. That is actually interesting. And there is like to list 50 projects and output in JSON format. Oh, that is interesting one indeed. So we're gonna go with the first one that has been recently viewed. I'm not gonna go for listing all the projects actually because it's not really that useful to me. So I'm gonna be ACLI Jira project list. Okay, and it's giving me the recent projects that I was viewing, and it's saying, all right. So these are the things that we're seeing here. So two things that I can immediately see, and that is these two columns were messed up because name should be video ideas and the key is Y. And then name platform development, plat. And then content production, P. Then skill boost, skill. And so on and so forth. But I get it, it's still in the beta, so I believe that this will actually get fixed. All right, so you have also these flags that you can actually have in here. So it's saying maximum of projects to fetch, and it's saying the number of the maximum projects that you can fetch is 30. All right, so for the recent, it's fixed to be on 20, and there is like an HTTP response to fetch all pages of results, and this limit is ignored. Okay. I'm more interested in this ACLI Jira project list. So we are doing the limitation of 50, and this needs to be in a format of JSON. Okay, interesting. So this is indeed what we have. Oh, that's a lot of responses. Yeah, that's a lot of responses. Okay, hopefully we are. Okay, so this is what we got. So first it starts with if it was archived, who was it archived by, when it was archived, where is the assignee type, don't know what actually this is. It lists the components that were deleted, from whom they were deleted, where when was the deletion, there's the description, email null, and there is the ID indeed. Okay, so this is the project key. This is the very first one. And it's saying that there is also, it gives me the project lead and it gives me the account ID. It gives me if the account is active. It gives me my name, of course. And it's now giving the name. It's giving the project type key, which is actually software project. There is also a style of a classic project, right? So, and then there's another project. It gives me the ID of it. It gives me if the project is indeed private or not, and that is the project form below. Let's see here. Yeah, there's the ID of the next project in here. There's a display name, right? So this is your lead, your project lead. Okay. Where's the locale? What is the name of it? What is the project category? And gives me the ID of this project category as well, which is actually an interesting thing. It gives me that this is indeed the category of a project or project type key, which is the service project. And it's still giving me this style of a classic. So this is like if it's a company managed or a team managed project. So from here, a lot of things that we have indeed got when we're when we are doing the listing. All right. The another thing that I want to do is to create a project. So it's going to be ACLI Jira project create. So first of all, I'm going to clear this. ACLI Jira project create. But there is an error. Jira project create. Mostly you're going to do this like this. So there is a couple of things that you can do. So you can create a project from a JSON file. That's one thing. The another thing is to create a project team, name, and the new project and everything else. Create a project from an existing project. What this means? This means that it's gonna grab the all of the shared settings from the project. But you need to be careful here. Why? Because this can only be done with the company managed projects. Because with company managed projects, you can share the settings with the other project. The good side is that you do not need to configure the whole project from scratch. It can have workflow screens, uh, field scheme, field schemes, everything that is related to the schemes, issue type screen schemes. That and it will inherit from the main project. The downside from this is if you are actually making some change on the project that is sharing the settings with the main project, it will also overwrite those changes as well. All right, so ACLI Jira project create, and from which project? So I'm going to go from project. So I'm going to be looking for company managed software. Yeah, I can see one. It's going to be mobile. And it's going to be the key for a new one. I'm going to say ACLI. And that's going to be the name of it. And the name of it is also going to be ACLI. And it's now giving me the error. Not really defining what kind of an error this is, even though the syntax is correct. From project team, key, new team, name. What's this? From project create, from project, mobile, key, ACLI, yep, name, ACLI. And it's giving me an error. It would be good if I know what the error is. That that would be great. All right, ACLI Jira project create generate JSON. Okay, so this is what we're having. Line account email, that is optional. Notification scheme, optional. All these things basically are kind of optional. I don't need to use like a category or something like that. So and now I'm not wondering where this JSON is actually being stored. Generates JSON file that could be used for project creation. Yes, that's okay. Supply description for the project. Okay. URL of the project, name of the project, key, string. Okay. So if we are doing this, so I can go ACLI Jira project create. So I can go with name of the project. So it's going to be N ACLI. Let's go with a comma. Key string, key of the project. Key of the project is also going to be ACLI. Description string, no, I don't need that. Lead email string, lead account user email. If not, the lead will be the same as that of and will be the same as that of parent project. That's weird. I don't know what that means. Okay, and it's saying they must be set from the project key. Okay, this is ridiculous now. It really is. So according to this, it only means I can actually create a new project, right? And nothing else. A new project from project and stuff like that. Okay. Create a project from an existing. No, I don't want that. I want a brand new project. Okay. CLI Jira work item. Oh, there are a bunch. Retrieving information about Jira work items. Yeah, probably this is going to be ACLI Jira work item view, and I'm going to go with help. Okay. Okay, this is how it works. So you get it with the view, and now need to define an issue key. Plat 30. Plat 30. Yep, it's giving me the info. And it's a pretty straightforward and it's an easy one where it says what is the key, what is the type of it, what is the summary, what is the status, and what is this description. Okay, we're going to be making more of these ACLI videos. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next one. Bye.